In this video, we are going to be sewing our signatures into our base spine. That's the word I was looking for. But first, we need to prep our signatures. We need to prep our spine. We need to prep a bunch of stuff, and keeping in the back of our head what our end journal wants to look like. And even if you don't have an idea of what your journal is going to look like, you can know how many signatures you're going to have, how many pages in each signature you're going to have, and that is key. So for our journal, we have a hidden spine. So this is going to be the spine that you see on the outside, and then this is the spine that we are going to attach to this spine and attach to our front cover and our back cover via this fabric. And then we also have to make a design choice of what papers we want inside. So that's our front cover and that's our back cover. So when it lays out flat, it looks like this. And then we're going to have this fabric in between with this lace going down the back and the front, or the back and the front. There we go. So I grabbed this because we're going to tear apart this to put some pages of that in there. This is what we're going to put on the inside cover and backside inside cover. So when we're designing this, we want to think of the pages that we're putting into it and how big they need to be and all that stuff. So I was going to go ahead and do this stuff like off camera, but I felt like I would be letting you guys not see like the process, and that's what these videos are for. This is for you to see the process, for you to kind of get inspired by what I do, because I get inspired by what other people do. So this is not a one-way journey here. That's what I was going to do. I was going to put another, see, if I don't write stuff down, I forget. I was going to put another layer of matte medium on these, but you know what? We can do that after our cover is done. It's okay. We can do that later. So now that we have our papers picked out, let's pick out what fabric we want in the middle. Do we want a dark fabric or do we want a light fabric? Where'd the other fabric go? It's supposed to be in the bin. So there's my bin for, oh, there it is. See, it helps if you just pay attention, Tish. And I don't think I have enough of the white, of the light colored fabric to make this work. It's not white enough. So I thought I had maybe some up here. And we were supposed to make pockets today, but I got confused on the schedule. We're going to make pockets tomorrow as we finish up the journal and put ephemera in there, pockets and whatnot. So I apologize for that if you tuned in for that. And my brain spaced that out. Let's just do the dark fabric. I think that'll look nice with that. And I'm not, and this is from the last journal, so we gotta put all that stuff away. I have all these bins that has stuff that we need to put away. So here's the other thing you need to think about. What colors, threads are you going to use? Are you going to stitch any of the pages? Are you, these are the things that you want to think about before you bind your journal and have it done before you get to that point. So we're going to cut this. Let's move this over here for now. Those are our journal pages. I'm going to move this up here because we're going to go over to the sewing machine here in a moment. Stay. It's like a dog. Stay. Actually, this one is cut pretty well. And I just want to make sure there's really no flaws in the fabric in like this part. I can see that there's flaws here and here, and I'm not worried about that because we're going to stitch it back once we get, but there's a flaw right here, so we're going to cut right here. Probably should get a pair of scissors that'll actually cut fabric. You know, these Tim Holtz scissors were not designed to cut fabric, but they do a pretty darn good job. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come down. Oh, there's another flaw. I think we're just going to have to go with the flow because that's not an actual hole. It's just more of a flaw. So I thought I had to sneeze. So we're going to come down about here and just stitch a line. And then we'll take this and wrap the top part down and figure out where we need to do the other line of stitching. And then we're going to fold it over, glue it down, fold it over, and then we're going to zigzag these stitches, fold it over, and zigzag this. Okay? So I need to find my, because there is a hole here. It's not quite right. There we go. That's why I like this bead reamer, because it's a little bit rough and I can sand the holes as I make if I need to. So I've got blue thread in my sewing machine right now, and I apologize if you can hear any noises. They are working on our inclusion today. They're finishing it up, so that means there's no critters going to be coming in to our house when it starts getting cold. We didn't have a problem with it last year, but we had some repairs done, so we just want to make sure that there's no other problems. Okay, so do we want to do navy blue? I think we want to do a brown. Do I have a brown? I should have a brown. I just bought some brown. Yeah, I think we're going to use this. So I'll show you the thread here in a minute. I get all my thread from the Painted Raven because it is a quilt shop, so they have a lot of really nice quality thread. Some I'm like, wow, that's really, it was like $30 for a spool, but it's Italian thread and it's supposed to be like butter. And I'm like, for junk journals, I don't think I need anything that expensive. Excuse me. And do I not have any black thread ready? I should. It should be here. Oh, here we go. Well, it's almost gone, but that's okay. So here's the thread that I picked out. It's a little bit lighter, so it'll stand out, but it's a little bit more subtle. Let's get this plastic off of here. I think I'm going to use my finger now. I'm afraid of cutting the thread. So this is made by Glide. It's 100% polyester, and it's called leather. So it's kind of a leather brown. So it's a lighter brown, but it's still dark enough where it will blend in It won't be like doing hot pink on here or something. And I think that'll go well. Yep, that'll look really nice with the paper on the inside. So let's thread. Let's thread our machine and get that top stitch done. And actually, you know what? We're going to do 3 fingers and 3 fingers and get a rough guesstimate because I don't want to bring this whole thing over to my sewing machine. There we go. And we have extra in case we screw up. So Murphy is at bay. So I'm going to kind of give myself a rough guesstimate. So I want the stitching here and here. And we're just going to go straight down and probably back again. So it's double stitched. It's more decorative than anything else. It's just going to help camouflage our other stitching that is going to be decorative and purposeful. So I don't have a spool of black thread, so we're going to use, or a bobbin of black thread, because that black thread is almost gone and I don't want to deal with spooling up another spool. So I'm going to use kind of a greenish gray, beigey color. So it's not white, but it's lighter. And let's make sure we put the bobbin in correctly, because that can really rain on our parade. Come on. And you want to use threads that are of similar weight, because otherwise things get all discombobulated. All right. There we go. The hardest part for threading this machine for me is threading the needle. I don't know how it is for you guys, but I can thread the whole needle in like literally 30 seconds, or the whole machine, zip, bang, boom, and it's done, right? But getting this darned needle, even though I have a needle threader pulley thingy, it says self-threading needle. Yeah, no, that's a lie. I wouldn't have to do anything if it was self-threading. So let that go back up. This is really pretty. And yes, it's brown. Get over it. Let's see. Let's get this bottom thread through. And there we go. We are ready to rock and roll. So, excuse my sniffles. Let's find our dot. Well, there it is. And there it is. I made the mark on the wrong side of the fabric though. That's okay. We'll double check once we sew this top one. Okay, bring the needle down and we're just going to do a straight stitch. And then I'm just going to reverse stitch and kind of, actually, you know what? I'm not going to, I'm just going to do a straight stitch all the way across because we're going to stitch down this side anyways, so no back stitching required. Okay. So, there's our stitch across the top. And we want that to go right about there. So I'm going to use a pin this time and pin it where I want it. So that way I don't have to search for a black mark on brown fabric. I don't know what I was thinking. I know what I was thinking. I need more caffeine. There's too much blood in my caffeine system. So we're going to start right about here. Okay, so we're prepping our spine to be ready for our journal signatures. And when we're doing this, we're keeping in mind, okay, what are our signatures going to look like? What aesthetic are we going for? All right, so now that we got that kind of lined up, we can pull this pin out and move it back. There we go. Make sure our threads are out of the way. And as soon as I can justify getting a sewing cam, we will definitely have one. But I need to purchase some things, and I can't rightly justify that expense right now. It's like, what are you doing to me? I thought I was your workhorse. This is show pony stuff. Okay, there we go. Now we can glue this down, hopefully. Let's make sure it sits where we want it to sit. Ouch. I just kicked my chair because that's the kind of girl I am. So that is darn near perfect. Wunderbar. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over. Oh, wait, what? Yes. I was like, wait, what? The seams were getting me all confused. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to put this down like this. So we're going to take just some glue stick, because we're going to glue the back side even better. Oops. Yes. And I want my glue pad. Okay, fine. Fall on the floor. I have things kind of stacked precariously right now. So we're just going to glue this down like so. And this doesn't have to be too weight bearing. We want it to be solid, but even though it's going to get used frequently, there's not a lot of wear and tear because we already have the holes punched in it. But you can see I went heavy with the glue, and I'm using glue stick because, one, it's easy, two, it is less likely to seep through like other glues would. So I'm going to try and find where we want this. I think right about there. There we go. fold this over. And it does seep through a little bit, but this stuff you can just kind of rub off with your finger, or if you don't want to be sticky, you can take a rag like so and burnish it down. See, we've got some of that glue coming up through, and that's okay, because if we keep rubbing it, it's going to come off. See? But at least we know now it is firmly applied, because it's going through the weft and weave of the fabric. So here's another spot where it's coming through. I'm just going to keep rubbing and it'll come off. That's why I like this Tombow. It does those wonderful things. So now we're going to take I'm going to fold this over, and we're going to do a little bit here and a little bit here. And then I'm going to put just a little bit on this side of the fabric and on this side of the fabric. So when I fold it over, they will stick together and give us a nice flat seam. Or, yeah, I guess you'd call it a seam. So I'm going to put this here. So those lay together nicely. And there we go. Now I'm going to lift this end up a little bit. And I am going to, since this isn't going to be seen, I'm not going to worry about glue coming through. But I want to make sure that this fabric is adhered well. So, especially around these holes. So I'm pulling it up just a little bit. And I'm going to put a thin line of Fabri-Tac on either side of the hole, like so. And we're just going to smush it down. I'm going to smush it flatly. I know the first swipe I kind of smushed it, but I don't want it to come back through the holes. So, actually, I think we're going to actually cut this part off, because I want to be able to see these holes for when I'm, so we're going to cut this off. I misjudged, because I want to be able to see these holes when I'm sewing my signature in, because I'm not very good at guesstimating. But I want a little bit of an overhang. So there we go. And we'll throw this over here. There we go. And that's what our top looks like thus far. Okay. And cut a little bit, excuse me, cut a little bit more off here. So it's a little bit more straight. Yeah, there's too much blood in my caffeine system. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here. Give it a pre-fold down. We're going to do a little bit right here just to hold it in place. I get the top edge, a little bit here, 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 and here. There we go. Just a little bit of Don't need a lot. That came out a lot. Fold this over, pull it tight. There we go. Now I'm going to snip this. There we go. And I'm going to lift this up and put a little bit of fabric tack down. There we go. Tap, tap. I'm just going to come in and snip a couple of snips. There we go. So that way I can lift that up and snip it later when I need to, if I want to. Maybe I'll end up snipping where each hole is. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. Sometimes the best ideas come when I need to like be resourceful. So this is sticking to my fingers. So let's get our silicone spatula out. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a zigzag stitch and we're going to zigzag over this and down along the side here. And, oh wait, zigzag here. We're going to fold this edge over. So let's get that prep to do. Let's see how much space we're going to need, because we're going to need at least that much. And I think we can safely, let's see. So there. Let's turn this upside down. So we can put this here, that there. And okay, so we have let's do 2 inches off of either side. Okay. So we're going to grab our cutting mat. We're going to line this up with the 8 and lay this down. And we're going to go get our fabric roller. Thank you for your patience. I had to top off my caffeine system. All right. My brain is not firing on all pistons today, apparently. So we're going to use this to help us. because we don't want to screw this up. So move that down, move that over. That looks good. Now, we're gonna cut this off at 10. There we go. Like so. I think that's how I do it. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've used this. This is just for fabric. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to use this edge just to kind of help us line it up. So it's lined up with the cardboard. And we're just going to tug it over. Too far, too far. There we go. And we're going to line it up down at the bottom so it's relatively straight. So there's our line. There's our line. And then we're going to lay this down on 10 and 10. There we go. Now, roll this out. Slow and steady wins the race. And then we flip this back. Okay, now we're good. I have a little bit of glue coming through, but if you don't have one, you can paint over it. You don't like the glue spots, you can put paint down. You can do some ink over it. But I have this fancy dancy, I think these are like $5. It's a glue eraser. And you just kind of rub it against the fabric. You can hear it. It's making a funny noise. There we go. All better. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to start here. Wait. I'm trying to think how this is going to go in my sewing machine. I'm going to start here, go here, and then zigzag here. No, I want to go along this edge, not this edge. I don't want stitching there. So we'll start here, go along here, come along here, but I'm going to do it in a different color. That was my foot. I don't want to do black. Let's see, where is brown? I've got this nice dark brown. Wow, you can almost not see that. Yep, that's what we're going to use. Okay, let me thread this. Let me get, oh yeah, sticky fella. There we go. I'm just going to throw that piece of fabric away anyway, so I don't usually throw away my fabric, but if it has too much glue or stuff on it, then I do. Okay, let's put a lid on these glues. There we go. And I'm going to head over to the sewing machine again. Why don't you come with me? Oh, that's right. I don't have a webcam. Hello, Ellen. I'll get a camera. We're going to get a camera. It's on the list. But first, Elgato has to have them in stock. They have been out of stock since they released them. So, yeah. Anywho. Okay. So, we're going to load this dark brown thread up. And hopefully the thread, the automatic threader will work automatically. sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate and it wants to hang on to the thread. It's like, no, I don't want him to become part of a project. Well, you don't really have a choice, sir. Please help. Oh, fine. Reminds me of the rock wall in Labyrinth. Oh, no, 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 of course not. If you know what movie I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. I have probably seen that movie at least 100. At least twice a year for the last 10 years. Because that movie is fantastic. All right, so we're going to start off on the rightmost side. No, because we want to go up. So, there we go. Yes, rightmost side, bottoms. Well, what would be the either left or right hand side? So I'm going to find the edge here. Oh, where'd my, there they are. My spectacles so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to line the edge up with the back of the little space on the footer. And we're going to bring the needle down. There we go, but we don't want, oh, we don't want that. We want a zigzag, a smaller zigzag. There we go. We're just going to leave it, put the tension a little bit down. That way it doesn't pucker, hopefully. All right, now we bring the needle down. And then that seems about right. Nope. One more stitch. There we go. This is kind of fandangly. There we go. I don't know how people do this, like sewing stuff every day. Well, it's not too puckery. One more stitch. There we go. And that's going to be our last one. Oh, nope. We get one more. Nope. Okay. Now it's all puckery because the fabric or the thread pulled. That's okay. We can make it work. Okay. And now for the other side. I didn't realize I was holding my breath for that. Oh boy. It's going to be a long day if I'm holding my breath. Okay, so, nope. Nope. So I'm thinking I'm lined up and I'm not. All right, here we go. Oh, my foot pedal keeps sliding. I need to put a piece of shelf liner underneath my foot pedal because I have hardwood, well, they're vinyl floors, but they're pretty, so kind of. As pretty as vinyl floors can be, because the gentleman that owned this house before thought himself to be a handyman. And bless his heart, I mean that in the northern way, not in the southern way, he was not. And not to talk ill of the recently deceased, but he was not a handy person as much as he tried. He gave it a valid effort, though. I will give him that. Okay, I'm going to do these last few stitches by hand so I don't break my needle. There we go. All right. There we go. Put these glasses over here. I don't think we're going to need, oh yeah, no, yeah, we're going to need to sew again. And I think I am going to use this brown thread too. Excuse me. So, let us so what I'm going to do here, so I need my seam ripper. That's not my seam ripper. It should be in here. Sometimes I gotta bring the cup up because it's dark down there. I need to put a little touch light down there. I have one. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and pull this thread through. There we go. And we're just going to line it up right here. We're going to take a little piece of tape and we'll tape it down. Cut off the excess. I'm going to cut off these little furry things. There we go. I'll do the same side, same thing on this side. I'm going to pull this brown through. You just give a tug to your bobbin thread. That's part of the reason why I like not matching bobbin thread. So, there we go. Now, if you don't want your glue to come through very easily in this on a finer fabric, put some interfacing on it. I found out that trick a couple years ago, but I've learned to embrace the imperfections and not give myself more work. So again, with a little, these are little pieces of shipping tape that I cut off of old pieces, so I'm using them up. Look at me go. There we go. Excuse me. So give a tug. Use the seam ripper gently. I actually use it backwards sometimes because I'm afraid I'm going to rip the break the thread. So when I'm working on something important like this that I don't want to have to do over again. Okay, I've got another thin piece here. Make sure we have both the threads. And we do. And tape it down. And one more. Okay, I don't need this whole big piece. So we're just going to tear that piece in half, put that little piece back. And this stuff is stickier than sticky. I kid you not. This stuff is stupid sticky. And it's awesome. It's about $12 a roll, but a roll will sincerely last you a year, if not longer. If you want the link for it, let me know. And I'll send it to you. Because sometimes I say I'm going to put the link in the description and I forget. And I don't want to like be like, oh, I'll put it in the description. And then, you know, 6 months later, it's still not there. Okay, I'm giving it a little bit of a haircut because we have all these little wild hairs that are coming off. And for the most part, they don't bother me. But anywho, when we put our glue down, it'll stop some of that fraying. All right, so we've got our inner signature holding spine done. I'm gonna, there we go. So we're gonna cut this where the holes are supposed to be. That way it'll lay flat. Maybe I need to go get my other little scissors. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so now we can sew our signature in here. But first we need to get our signatures ready. And we're not going to poke holes in the fabric. We're going to leave the fabric solid. So that way we don't run the risk of more fraying, more problems, because I use fairly blunt needles because I don't like poking myself with a needle. It's a good thing I don't have MS or diabetes, because I would probably lose my mind. Anyway, you know what's funny is when it's not my blood, it doesn't bother me as much. Like if I have to patch up a little kid, or I used to give my ex-husband his injections for his MS. And yeah, didn't bother me until after I was done. And then it's like, oh my God, what did I just do? Blech. So the things we do as a mom, right? Or as a dad. Dads do it too. Dads do it too. Grandmas, grandpas, aunties, you know, and whether you're a blood dad or an adoptive dad, it doesn't matter. Stepdad, half dad, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the love in your heart that matters. Okay, let's get our signatures ready and let's stitch this bad boy. Now this is going to be a lot more difficult to stitch because we don't have the sides of the book to hang on to. So this is the front of our book. So this is going to go here like so. See? That's going to lay down right there. And then the other one is going to lay down right here. And I think tonight when I get home from market, I will sit down and I'll glue those pages on here. You don't need to see all that. So just imagine, if you will, this underneath like that. So yeah, that'll look really nice. We may put a piece of flat ribbon down just to help disguise the glue if the glue seeps through really bad. I mean, I'll show you ways. I'll show you ways. I'll show you the ways. And we're not going to worry about the outside spine right now. We just want to get the signatures into this flippity floppity thing, okay? So let me grab a sip of coffee. I'm going to put this where I can remember where it's at, which is going to be right there. Let me grab a sip of coffee and the papers, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have some copy dyed paper. There's 15 sheets here, so that means 3 pages per signature. We have our signatures that we came up with. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. It's a day that ends in Y. We have 5 sets of those. I do believe there's either 13 or 15 in each one, so we'll go through those. But we've got 5 sets of them, so each signature will get, 2 or 3 pages. So it'll help keep it individualized. We've got the same with the big ones. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. And then I've got some regular, we'll put 1 sheet of each of these in there. So we gotta go through these pages and figure out if we're gonna need more, but I'm shooting for 12, well, I like doing odd pages. I'm weird. I like doing like 13, 15, 11, 9, I don't know why. It's just a quirky part of me. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages here. And then last night, after I did the live stream, why is this so heavy? What is on here? Oh, it's my stamp block. That's why it's heavy. Okay. I can live with that. It's actually supposed to be underneath the parchment because I was using this to hold the parchment because the parchment wanted to fly away. So I'm going to put that over there. So after the live stream, I discovered that I had papers like this. I did these on a live stream. So we're going to pull out. Do I have more than of those? Because I like those. If not, I like the feather ones too. I don't think I do. Yes, I do. Oh, those are the same as those, so. You know what? We might just use these ones that have the splatters on them. So those are kind of fun. Loopy doopy. Sometimes they stick. Oops. I don't want to use that one. These are fun. And those are the same ones. So let's do those two. Let's leave this one for another journal. And then let's see if we can see. I like that one, but I like this one. This one's, no, we're going to use it. And then this one. That one's got, this one have a rip in it? No. So we got those. So I kind of like that. That looks really cool. And it'll be in a page like this. Or like this. Yeah. Okay. And I like these ones because it's got the red. Okay. And then, but wait, there's more. See, I like these, but not for this journal. Then I have these ones, and they're still slightly damp. So we're going to put these together as one group of art paper. Two. That's a really heavy one. Well, we've got, Yeah, we've got a heavier one here, right? Yeah, so let's do one like that. And one like that. So we got one, 2, 3, 4. 5. Okay. And we're going to do the blue ones too, because we can. 1, 2, 3. 4. 5. Let's take another one out for that one. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we got that one. I don't know. Do we want? Because I don't have a heavy one. Yeah. Let's just do this one. All right. I'm going to set those aside. I'm actually going to put them in front of the fan. I'm going to paper clip them right here at the corner. I'm going to set them in front of the fan so they chill out a little bit. There we go. And we're just going to kind of paper clip them like that. And I'm going to put these in front of the fan. I'm going to go in front of the fan, so I'm going to mute my microphone so it doesn't blow out your ears. Thank you, Ellen. I like doing these. They're kind of stress relief for me. So we do have these ones. I really love this. I love that. I love these. Love, love, love these. And look, they have little hearts in them. See? Oh. Okay. These ones are completely dry because I did these a couple of weeks ago on a live stream of all things. You know why I live stream? Is because I don't like editing. Like really don't like editing. So I'm going to set these aside so we can figure out what we're going to do with these big pages and these smaller pages. And I'm going to set these aside because these are kind of more filler than anything else. If we only need to use one per signature to get our 13 to 15. Now our signature has a 1/2 inch gap on it, our spine. So I'm thinking we can do 13. 11 to 13 is kind of what we'll look at and see. Because I want it to be an alligator mouth when people fill it, when the person, you know, that falls in love with it says, I have to have it. And they know then, okay, so this is one. And then we have to tape these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we're going to take this one, 2, 3, 4, excuse me, 5, 6. So let's get 5 of these. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. What size is this? Let's look. So our measurements for is 7 1/4. So this is 6 1/2. So that'll be perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can put these back together and use them in a different project. So let's do the same with this one. So we used our math book. That one got put back. That one. Okay. And I'm going to use some metal paper clips just on the side here. That way I know these are ready to go. And then these extra pieces will go back in our signature bin. I'll clip them together, and that way I know there's only 5 pages, and then I've got a big stack of like individual pages that just need to be sorted out. So I'll put 5 pages on that. Counting that one, that one, that one. That goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. One, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I messed up. I think this one. Yep, it's slightly different. Okay, excuse me. This makes it so much easier and faster when you pre-sort your pages for your signatures. I cannot recommend it highly more greatly. So let's put that back in the Counting one goes, this one goes here, that one goes there. Dictionary or thesaurus page, and then a little page. So let's put that one in there. One, two, three. Oh, let's put this one in there. Oh no. That. And you're probably thinking, well, why do you sort them all out if you're just going to sort them out again? Because this is going to fit within the book properly. And when we went through and we sorted all these out, we were doing just for any general book. Let's see if this is going to rip or not. Nope, we're pretty sturdy. Okay, put that one in there. So then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oopsies. Throwing paper clips around. There we go. Now we've got 5 signatures started. So we've got 5 pages of book pages. This one goes here. This one. Uh-oh, did I throw it back in the bin? Okay, well, we'll just grab another one. We lost it. Man down. Okay. So we've got 5 pages there. Let's see what we got for our other pages before we dip into these big ones. Because we might not need these. Or we can swap out a section, like if I don't want certain ones. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's take these out. Those are just digitals. And then we'll take 3 big pages out. And then we'll be at 13. Right? Yeah. Because there's 5. Yeah. We can do two coffee dyed pages too to make it 15 if we decide that 13 is not too thick. Okay. So, oh wait. You know what? We are going to go. I forgot about the pages in front of the fan. And I made those specifically for this journal. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. There we go. So we have all those pages that we sorted out and we didn't even need them. And you know what? They're going to go right back in the bin. Isn't that amazing? Because these will go all back in the bin. And we still have, they're all ready to go again. And that took like no time at all. So we're gonna do, first off, we're gonna tidy up our desk a little bit. I'm gonna tidy my desk. What was that song that we used to sing when we were little? Like, clean up, everybody everywhere. Clean up, everybody do your share. I don't sing. There's a reason why. Oh, this is kind of cool. Let's open this up. This is from Coffee's Dying Last Night. Now imagine that in a thing. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I'm not allowed to. I border on the hoarding definition, but when I validate it with the fact that I actually do use it, then people can't come at me. Okay. So, excuse me. Let me clean off this little table behind me. Hang on. Okay, now I have my little table cleaned up. Let's make a stack here. I'm gonna put this right here. We'll put those in on last. And I'm gonna put my scissors away before they end up stabbing me in the foot. And we don't need the glue page anymore. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start on the little table, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's confirm we need 5 signatures. The last time I did more than 3, I forgot that I was doing 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think these, I'm going to put those towards the back because those I'm going to need an empty hand for. And these ones, I know I have this little thing here. I'm not going to worry about it right now. If my desk was just a smidge more cleaned off, I could fit all 5 pages here. Now this one has the letterhead on it. I'm not going to worry about it right now. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, come on now. Okay, so this is the heavy cardstock. So we're going to put that on that one. And these all came glued at the top, so I knew I was going to need to. Oh, they're separate. There you go. How do you like that? Sometimes they stick together still. All right, now we're going to take our little stacks. And we're going to go grab the other 2 papers. See if they're not damp anymore. I will be right back. Okay. So now we got these two. So I put one on my lap here. One, two, there we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we're gonna get these all bundled together again. I'm going to slide this paper clip off and paper clip them together. And we have the second signature and the last signature that have the thicker paper in it. So I'm going to do, this is 2. So, and this is 1. So we're going to stack them up here. So we can paper clip it closer to the top. So 1, 2, take a deep breath so I don't get the hiccups. 3 is going to be in the middle. There we go. And 4. So, and then we'll work on 5, so we don't have to worry about paper clipping 5. So when you're bundling your signatures and you have them the way you want them, like in the order that you want them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're sorting them out, make sure to sort them out in the order that you want them, and then just give yourself the paperclip clue. You know, paperclip them. You know that 1 starts at the top, 2 is, you know, a third of the way down, 3, 4, 5. That way, when you come back to it, you know, you don't have to go, oh gosh, which was this and which was that. That way you have a visual representation of what you're doing. And it took me probably 5 years to figure that out. So let me save you the frustration. Okay, we can put this glue back and that glue back. Get the table cleared off a little bit, because one thing that we do need to do is our book is 9 3/4 by 7/8. So I'm going to make a mark on my desk papers here, because I like to walk on the wild side. And we're going to do it in black. 9 3/4. So we'll do, our tallest page will be 9 1/2. And gotta do the beginning, right? And then we're going to draw a line. And then 7 1/8. Excuse me. Oh, I should have muted my microphone. I apologize for that. That was very rude of me. So let's do it this way so we're straight. 7 1/8. Let's just do 7. So let's start that line there, and we'll do this line here. Okay, so that way when we're folding our papers, finish the square, Tish. Finish your thought. That way when we're finished, when we're folding our papers, we know where to fold to, sort of. So it should be, well, it's a little off. That's okay. It's not exactly straight. There we go. That's better. Yeah, 9.5. That one there. Okay. So we kind of get an idea. That's how big, but this is tall. But usually when I'm folding tall pieces, and I'll show you in a minute. So we're going to do these last because they're the easy ones. This is where this comes in handy. So we're under our size, so we just need to put some tape on that one. We are under our size, tape. We're going to use some washi tape. And so, excuse me. Well, I want that to show. So maybe because we are at size almost perfectly, let's do it this way. Like that. There we go. And we are under size. And you know what we should have done is gone ourselves a halfway point. But we can kind of visually see. Actually, because we have this one, let's make sure that we're a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, there are those. This one, we're going to fold like this. And then we're going to cut this off right here. So let's get our decal edge cutter, which is over here. Hold on. It's not in its spot, which doesn't surprise me. If I don't clean my studio at least once a week, it looks like a bomb went off in here. And I haven't cleaned it in over a week. So, yeah. There we go. That goes in the scrap bin for collage fodder later. And I'll put that on that table. That way it's easier to reach. Now this is cardstock. And I think I'm just going to fold this one straight up. Like so. This might be our center page. Yep. So I'm going to take a little, this is coffee stain. I had to put it in a smaller bottle because my other bottle broke. I will try and fix it before I throw it away. And I only throw away the sprayer if the sprayer doesn't work. So I'm just going to mist this real quick. So it just gives it some different visual and it will dry super fast. I mean, it's already almost dry anyway. But you can see it just gives it some different visual appeal. All right, so I'm going to fold this. I'm going to fold this in half this way. I'm going to fold it straight up in half-ish. Grab the decal cutter. And we're going to decal cut the bottom. Now, if you don't have a decal cutter, rip it. And I'll show you that on the next one. So I should have folded it with the printing out so I knew where I was cutting. And then we're going to do just the edge of this one. There we go. Boom. Herbert's your uncle. This one, we've got that we're going to fold it this way. And we're going to let this kind of stick out a little bit, like so. It's my lunchtime. Hold on. I don't know if you've heard it before, but I have an alarm that goes off at noon to remind me to eat, especially when I'm up in the studio and I'm just going crazy doing things. So this is an actual, like, I made this. I took and made rough edges on it. It's a dollar store. And the reason why I tried it, because the ruler had cracked. That's why there's duct tape on it. I'm like, well, let's see if this works. You know, it's broken anyway. So we're going to take and we're going to rip this off right here. There we go. And then we're going to rip it off just on the edge up here. And it doesn't need to be straight. There we go. Bam. This one I'm going to leave straight up, fold it in half-ish. Let's do like that. And then this one, like this. This one, I want it like that. I kind of want it, yeah. And this one. Like that. Okay, so now we have them all folded. Let's find our cardstock. This is what we're going to start with. And I'm just going to put them on here. And then we'll adjust them later. There we go. Now, these ones are folded, but these ones we have to put some washi tape on. Actually, this one I'm not going to, because this seam is fine. So what I do is you have the holes here, and I think for this one we're just going to use paper tape, just plain paper tape, because I don't want to take away from the teeny tiny font. It'll just seem really busy. So this is paper tape from the Dollar Tree. And I need my glue mat again. There we go. And I'm going to do a little extra because I'm going to fold it over. Maybe. I don't know yet. And I use Uhu glue because this is a really wide glue stick. And then I just run it along the top this. And sometimes it sticks to itself, which is fine because it's glue stick and it'll pull apart without ripping, usually. Okay, now lay this down as straight as we can. And then I'm going to flip these edges over. I'm going to leave them ripped. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then I just take, you can take a brayer, a rag, but I'm going to use my silicone spatula. You get these at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes they have them, sometimes they don't. It's really kind of sporadic. And there we go. Now this one, let's find a washi tape that'll kind of go with our journal. It'll harmonize well. Let's get this ruler out of the way. Okay, go on the hook, thank you. And while we have the tape drawer out, or bin, or whatever you want to call it, I call it my tape drawer, because kind of pulls out of the shelf. So let's see here. We're not going to use this map one, so we're going to put him back in the, oh, for Pete's sake. There you go. Put him back in. Let's see. Oh, this will go good. This is like postage. I think the ad, this is actually the Tim Holtz. It's like airmail and stuff. Let's see if we got one that's better. This one's kind of cute, but I think it's too narrow. Yeah, this one's a little bit wider. We could do the Elemental P one. Did you hear that they rewrote the alphabet song? You know what? We're going to use the Tim Holtz. Why not? We're using Tim Holtz paper. Might as well use Tim Holtz tape. Did you hear that? They rewrote the tune of the alphabet song. I'm like, who does this? Because kids were all confused, the elemental P part. I'm like, whatever, dudes. Okay, so we're going to do this one a little bit different. My partner in Shenanigans just came in and he's like, do you need a refill? I'm like, yes, please. So we're going to wrap this one. No, I think we're not. I think we're just going to, I don't know. I like the kind of color with it. But I think the paper, I think we're just going to wrap the ends. So, and we're going to cut the ends off on this one. Scissors, please. Oof. And snip. You know what would be cute? Is if I could get the, what's it called? The thinning shears to work on washi tape. So it looks like it's, I can't get it to work. I can get it to work on the clear contact paper. Oh, that's what I should do. Is make some faux boo-boo tape. I haven't done that in a while, and I can't find, I had a whole envelope full of it, and now I can't find it. So I think it's still in storage, which my storage is not climate controlled. So we're going to see how things are after melting in the Texas heat. Hooray, coffee. I have to limit myself to 2 a day though, because otherwise I drink it all day and then I can't sleep at night. All right. Not because it's not because it's like caffeine wires me, it's because my brain is clear. It's like I can focus on things. So I like hyper focus. It's dumb. Welcome to my ADHD brain. Okay, so let's do this one on that, like so. And then got a little piece of paper there, hey. There we go. Let's move our glue mat. And let's see how we are. We could even come down further. There we go. All right, now let's bring this down a little bit. And leave this one like right there. Bring that one up a little bit. Okay, now we need to start putting in these pages. I think I'm going to put this page here. Like so. And then this page will go down here like so. And I think I'm going to take this page out and bring it towards the front and put this page, yeah, because I like those two together, and then put this page in here like this. So let's line that up a little bit better. There we go. There we go. It's a little too close to the size, so let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, I like that. And then that guy, this guy, this guy. There we go. All right, cool. So we're going to go through and do this for each one of your signatures, and you're going to make sure that you are within your tolerance here. If you go over a little bit, doesn't matter. And then I'll show you what I do here. We're going to take the metal ruler and we're going to squish that as far over as we can. Give it a good solid fold. Okay, where'd my jumbo paper? Oh, that's where it went. Okay, I've got more over here. So when you're folding your signatures, I use jumbo paper clips. You can use whatever you wish to do. So when you're designing, remember how we started at the top with here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the signatures? Well, this is my top now. Well, so this way I know that the one on the very right is the top of my signature, and then down here at the bottom we take a jumbo paper clip and we paper clip them together. And then so I know that this is journal number signature number 5. I'll take another paper clip, just a little one, and put it at the bottom. Okay, and then when you go through, you know this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But for sake of time, because I only have about half an hour before I need to go get ready for market today, I'm going to sew in the first signature, so you know the little hint and tricks that I've been wanting to share with you in a live stream in particular. So these are all building up to the big moment. And so we're going to take our block here, and we wrote on here a T. So now we need to get a piece of paper or a piece of cardstock or something. I try to go a little bit more heavy duty, but if I'm not going to use it again, I don't worry about it too much. But if I have some like white cardstock that isn't going to be used for anything, I prefer to do it that way. Or if I have a scrap piece of something like this, which is going to be just about perfect, we're going to go ahead and use this. So I make it the same size. Let's get our gillet. Actually, let's get Fanny out here, and we're going to cut this straight. Actually, you know what? We need to fold it and cut it straight, so it's straight on the fold. Okay, and then we'll take this and line it up with that, lay it down. Okay, you work with me. It's like 2 wibble wobbles. Actually, I don't want this. I want the pencil. Okay, so this is our top. Okay, We're going to take this, fold it the other direction, line it up. And cut it off. You can use the scissors. I am not proficient with the scissors. I know my limitations. And then we're going to take, excuse me, good thing Mikey brought me extra coffee. Now, I'm going to grab these other little scissors. These are my little fabric scissors. They're baby fannies. They're fiskers. Okay. So, I'm just going to cut a little triangle here so I can see the hole. There we go, because we only need to see one. And let's make sure we do the same one. 1, 2. There we go. Now, as soon as I get this cut, there we go. So I just cut a little notch out there and a notch out there. I'm going to take this. This is our top. Line this up with the line. I know. Take our Sharpie. Make a little smidge mark. Now this is our template for all 5 signatures. I'm going to write this brighter because I need circles and exclamation points to make sure that I see it. All right, we're going to put him back up there. And now, so this is signature number 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is our top. This is our bottom. And I also like to put, I need one of these, and one of these, and one of these. So while I have the ruler in there, I like to put one on the back side too, just so it kind of holds those papers as well. You can put paper clips on all the things, but I find I end up with more paper clips on the floor that way. All right, now we need to figure out what color binding we're going to do. It doesn't really matter because you're only going to see it on the inside. So, but it's always nice to have, you know, pay attention to the details. If you only have black embroidery floss, then use it. If you only have gray, then use it. If you only have fuchsia, use it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be seen much, but I think, where's my cover? I think because we have a red cover, I want to use red thread. So I'm going to grab this red thread right here, because it's not super dark, but it's not super bright either. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so because we're doing a 3-hole signature, you want to do 3 times the height and the width of the, you know what, maybe we should, because this is a little bit taller, is there 2 of those? Yes, I think so. Don't they usually have a number on them? No, I've got the hiccups again. I'm trying to see if the numbers are different on different colors. No hablo español. No, they don't. I thought they used to have numbers on them. Okay, whatever. These are close enough to the same. I don't know, because this is taller. I'm just going to put that back in there. I'll deal with that later, but at least it's in the box. This goes back underneath my desk. There's my skewer. See? Trying to maim myself on things. Jeez. I got a fresh skewer that's not all full of paint. Very proud of myself. That goes in that bin. There we go. I rearranged my desk a little bit so I had a little bit more space. And now I got used to my tools being over there and over here and down there. So yeah, I like that. It's going to be a little pop of red inside the book too. So attentions to details. So we're going to take that and we're going to throw that over there just in case we need more. These go in the paper bin. There we go. And then I'm going to do 4 just because I don't know if I want to do a page marker or not, or if I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So, and sometimes I do the page marker on the middle one. Sometimes I do it on the first one. Sometimes I do it on the last one. So I'd rather have too much thread than not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then this is optional. I'm that girl that likes to go extra, and people will say, oh, you shouldn't do that, it'll melt and blah 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 blah. You know what? You do you, boo. There are no rules in junk journaling except to have fun and create something awesome. There are a few rules though, just structurally. Like, it makes sense to have those rules. Like, you don't want all 3 of your holes right here. You want them spread out, that's kind of a rule, but that's just kind of common sense. But as Thomas Paine said like 150 years ago, common sense isn't so common. So I'm using wax to just wax these. You can use beeswax. This is canning wax. I got it at a garage sale for 25 cents. I got a whole box for 25 cents. So, and that's the last of it, which is kind of sad. I can't even tell you how long I've had it. Like 2016, I think, is when I got it. Okay, so now we've got our thread. We've threaded our needle. Yes. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll. Now we're going to take this, fold it like so, take our ruler out, put this in its stead. Now you can see our pages go a little bit further than our signature. That's fine. We want to line it up and center it as best we can, or you can put them all at the bottom and then all the top pieces will hang up a little bit. I'm going to try and center it as best I can in my brain. And if they're a little crooked, oh well. It's part of being a junk journal. Not everything is matchy-matchy and not everything is hunky-dory. It's the vibe. It's the mojo. Now, this is the dangerous part. Keep your hands and legs inside the carpet. So you're going to line up your dot with your brayer, or your pokey tool, ice pick, bead reamer, awl, I like using the bead reamer because it has a small handle and you want to go about an inch through. So that way you get the full size of the hole. Okay. Now to make this easier, you can pre-punch the holes in your template, but I'm just going for broke. And I use the palm of my hand to kind of push, and I kind of just turn back and forth. There we go. So you want to go as far as you can kind of see. This is where the full length or full width of the hole is at. So you want to go that far. If your pointy thing is further back, then you need to go further in, because you want to make sure you have room for your needle and thread. So if you're using smaller needle, and by all means make your hole smaller. Okay, so let's get, oof, there we go. Now here's the other option you have if your signatures are going to be hidden, and we might just do this. You can sew them so the thread is on the back side. You can do that. I am not going to do that. I just made that executive decision right now. So, because I want the threads to show, I want it to look, I want that aesthetic. But if you don't, you would start your stitching, instead of starting it inside the signature, you would start it on the back side of your spine. Okay, so we cannot sew this upside down. We cannot sew this with a crown. No. If you want to wear a tiara while you're making your junk journals, you rock that, sister or brother. I don't know who's watching. So what I do is I pull the thread through the center hole, and then now this is really important. If you don't have a binder clip, get a clothespin or some other kind of clinchy tool, and take your thread and take the end of your thread and wrap it around the bottom and then clamp it into place. This is key come later on. So this is, after me doing 30 journals in 30 days, this has been me honing my skills to best come up with a way to tie the knot at the end without killing yourself or getting frustrated. So now we take, that's our top. This is going to be our back signature. I sew them in back to front. Some people sew them in front to back. I've never seen a difference in them. They all look the same. It's how your brain works. You do you, boo. Okay? Okay. So to make this easier for my brain, I'm going to take this pin and push it through. And then I can take my needle and go through that same hole. There we go. Now, come on, there we go. Choo choo, chugga 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 chugga. And then we go through this top hole. Actually, we go through the bottom hole. So this is top, this would be your bottom. Go through the bottom hole. Now, if you want to go through the top hole, you can go through the top hole, but my method, these are really dull needles, so I have to poke just a little hole here. There we go. There we go. The way I'm showing you, go through the bottom. You can do it. You can, if your brain can handle, doing it in reverse, by all means. My brain cannot. So this is how I did. I sewed 20 journals in 30 days. So I got a process down. So when you're going through your paper holes, this is why I use a blunt needle, because I put my finger there and I hold it open a little bit, but you want to hold the rest of the pages closed, and that way you'll go in your pages straight. So there we go. Okay. I'm going to pull it not tight, but taut. Okay. I think I might have gave me way too much thread, but that's okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find our hole and then hold it flat, push it through, and pull it through. Now, people are saying, oh, keep it tight all the way through. Bullocks, okay? I'm just going to call that out right now. You do you. If you need to have it loose like I do, you can always pull it tighter later. So I'm going to poke a hole through that. You do whatever makes you comfortable. Okay, there's my hole. Let go. I got all discombobulated. There we go. Okay. I'll go through that hole. Now here you want to pull a little tight because you don't want your strings to get too loose. So I'm going to pull that tight a little bit. Uh-oh. My string came off. So this does happen. So I'm going to reclip it. There we go. Now, we don't want the beams to cross. So we're going to go in here and try and use the same hole if you can. And then I'm going to go in this hole. Now once you get it in the middle, this is why I don't mind leaving it loose, because you got to make sure that you have this string on one side and then your needle string on the other side of this string that goes up and down. So I don't mind keeping it a little loose, because otherwise that part gets a little complicated. All right, now this, my friends, is my favorite way of doing this, because I do not have hand strength. I do not have the dexterity that I used to have. I worked my hands too hard for too long. So I don't know if you have arthritis or whatever, if this is going to work for you. I just know it works for me. So this back string that we had clipped, I take it off, I wrap it around my pinky finger twice, and I put it in the fold of my pinky, and then I squeeze my ring finger down on top. I pull that tight. And then I pull, this is our bottom, this is our top. I pull on this thread up here to make this tight, okay? And then I take my finger, my pointer finger and my thumb, and I hold it up and I hold this tight, okay? And then I pull on this, and then I let go of the center thread. So this is our needle thread. This still has the needle on it. I pull that tight, let go of it. I come here as close to the paper as I can with my thumb and pointer finger, and then I come in back here and I pull on this top thread and make sure that center thread is tight, and then I pull that up. Okay, so now you have two tight threads. Now how the flop are you going to tie this, right? Here's the trick. You take, excuse me, give me 1 second. Okay, thank you. I need coffee because I got a lump in my throat. There's a frog in my throat. So this, you can hear it. It's really tight. And this is really tight. So you're going to take your right hand. Oh, if you're left-handed, you know, I'm sorry. I'm right-handed, so figure it out. You'll figure it out. You're smart. I know you are. So you're going to take this one, and you're going to unwrap your pinky, and you're going to pull that tight. And then you're going to pull this over your middle finger and put it in with your thumb and your forefinger. You're going to take this end string, and while you're holding it all tight between your thumb and end string, or your thumb and pointer finger, you're going to wrap that around, and then you're going to pull on, you're going to let that go, and you're going to pull it. And then that, my friends, should give you one heck of a tight signature. Okay? We're not budging. So then we're going to tie this off the rest of the way. So over and under. There we go. And now we can remove the thread. And we can remove our paper clips. And I'm just going to leave all this thread here. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out tomorrow when we go to finish things. Tomorrow's live stream might be 3 or 4 hours, which is fine. It's Friday, and I like just hanging out, playing some music, and you guys can pop in as you need to. But now we have all of this awesomeness stitched down, and I just burnish it. There is your first signature of your hidden spine. It's technically the last signature, but it's the first signature I sewed in. And now we are ready for 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But I'm going to do this off camera because there's no reason why you need to watch me do all the signatures. And I will also, before I go to, what time is it? Oh, I'm not going to have time. Tonight, before I go to bed, I'm going to come up and put an extra coat of clear matte medium on here so it stays matte. We'll probably come in and ink a little more and grunge it up a little bit more, and then I'll put the papers on the inside, and because that's just cutting the papers to come to the edge, to the same edge here. So you just take this and this, and then you just lay it down with glue, because we're going to put our spine right here like this. So it'll be fantastic. It's going to look really good. I'm so excited for this. I really am. I know I sounded not excited right there. So I want to I'm going to cut this piece to be the colors that I want. So I got to analyze it a little bit. And frankly, I need more caffeine for that. I've had like half a cup of coffee, and I had to make more coffee this morning. I drink iced coffee. So anywho, so tomorrow we will be assembling. I'll have everything ready to go, and we will put this finished hidden signature spine in with the rest of it. While that's drying, doing its thing, we'll make some pockets, some flip pockets, some just gusseted pockets, and some flat pockets. And then by that time, that'll be dry, and then we'll just fill it up with ephemera and go on our merry way. and this will be for sale on my Ko-Fi site. So I do need to finish up the tickets freebie that I have ready for you. I gotta finish that up and post it. That'll probably, I've got like 4 of them. I need to finish up and make sure they all line up. And I think 3 of them, or 2 of them are done. The other one I need to go in and tweak some of the color on one of the photos because I didn't like the way it was good, but it wasn't as good as it could be. And I want you guys to have the best. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is all coming together. You know what? Maybe we do this on the front and put a picture. I got a picture of a lady. We could do some lace around it. Or a gentleman. There we go. This can be, anywho. I'm leaving. I want you guys to have a great day. Go out and create something awesome. And remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.